So I'm in my Stay Wild pajamas, which I've had for a million years. So just ignore that because I'm not wild. I'm not wild, guys. But I just wanted to talk about this weird concept where you feel like sometimes you have deja vu on a situation. Like it just keeps coming around, right? And you feel like you've learned about this situation. You're like, okay, I've been here, I've done this, universe, I got the t-shirt. Why does this keep coming back? Like, why can't I get rid of it? And I think the reason, whether it's like a similar situation happens again in work or with family or friends, like the same issue keeps coming up, or whether it's a romantic situation, like you keep being in a push-pull dynamic, whatever it is, I think it is because you have to have a different perspective. So one thing that I do is I intellectualize everything. I overanalyze things because I have a brain that is quite good at creating meaning. So I'm quite good at jumping steps sometimes, but I trick myself because I go, okay, I know the intellectual reason this happened. I know the fundamental reason, like I can see it from this point and this point, and this is what happened, right? But sometimes the universe is like, yes, but you're missing something. Like you are skipping the feeling part of it. You're skipping some of the other stuff around it because you just want a clean textbook answer of this happened because of this, right? So I need to do this. So sometimes it keeps coming back around because the universe is saying you need to find the final piece of it. And sometimes our own emotional barriers stop us doing that. So if we're avoidant, we're like, okay, I just don't want to deal with it. I'm just running away from it. Or if you're protecting yourself, you might say, that's it, it's over, it's done, like, bam. But because you haven't dealt with the emotional stuff, it keeps coming back around. And you're like, why does this feel like I'm not over it when I should be over it? And it's because there's something else just still lodged there. And it's not necessarily about the job, the person, the other person on the other side of this issue. It's probably you. So it's like, if you haven't learned to accept things, but you say, I've done it, I've accepted it, like whatever, bounce, like I'm over it, on to the next thing, but you haven't, then it's still there, or it comes back around again, because it's like the universe is saying, we are like 80% done with this, like 80% of this lesson has been learned, but this 20%, you're not looking at it from a different perspective, or you're not accepting inside the reality, which might be that you know that this is something that isn't good for you, but you haven't emotionally let go. Or there is false hope that every time you interact with your loved one, it's going to go differently, and you have to accept it isn't. So you can say like, okay, this is them, I meet them where they're at, whatever, but your actions or your emotions or the things that you're not dealing with are not actually showing that. So the universe is like, you are bluffing us, okay? You are 80% through this, but that 20% inside where you're upset because you want them to be different, or you're upset because you want this workplace to do X, Y, and Z, or you're asking a person to do something they can't do, and you're hoping for a different outcome, that's the 20% that means this isn't moving. Because you know the intellectual reason why it's not working, but you're not connecting to your emotional space and accepting it. And we kind of want to bypass that because it can take a while. Sometimes we don't really know how long that emotional stuff's going to take, and we're terrified of our emotions because we're like, what happens if we open this Pandora box of how I feel and I get stuck and I can't move on? But the universe is saying you need to unlock that physically from your body and emotionally from your space, okay? Disappointment, hurt, false hope, rejection, disappointment, whatever it is, it's a normal human emotion. But when you keep it inside and you go, okay, I understand the lesson, but that's still there and it's unprocessed, all that will happen is it stays, it doesn't move. So this situation doesn't feel like it's moved on. You don't get that relief of, okay, this is in my rear view mirror now. You don't get that because you haven't done that bit. So if you feel like you are in deja vu and you just keep having this situation, take some time to consider, is it because I haven't actually done the full lesson? I actually haven't opened the emotional door of dealing with that emotion whether it be rejection, disappointment, false hope, whatever it is, have I actually accepted that bit of this lesson? Because that's when you fully complete the lesson. And when that bit's completed, it means when something similar comes back around, you go, okay, I know this now for what it is. I know where this road leads, and I'm not even going to go down it again. I'm literally going to pivot. I'm going to move on. I'm going to say, I'm not investing as much as I did last time. I'm just going to see it for what it is and move on. And that's how the universe goes, okay, you've understood the entire lesson. You've been positioned with a similar situation and you've integrated the work. So now we move on. We graduate from this lesson, and unfortunately we probably have to introduce new lessons because you have to grow. But this one, you have got the qualification for, you have passed the test, you can move on.